So this is the reflections for Challenge 9. Challenge 9 was basically we had the option to choose about going back and doing repeating another lab. So we chose to go back and repeat Lab 2 using the MyDAC and MATLAB software. So Lab 2 was taking a reading of the charging over time of a capacitor. What we used was 4 volts to charge a capacitor with a resistor in with it. We initially had several problems with setting up our computer. We got our code off the website that Mr. Hill sent out, and on the first computer that we ran through, we got a software driver issue. So we didn't know if it was something that we did wrong, so we went and talked with Mr. Hill about it, and he came and looked at our code and helped us through it and showed us that we pretty much did the code exactly right. So we had to end up trying it on 3 different computers before we found a computer that would work right. And once we finally did, we connected everything and ran our circuit.
So the program itself is fairly straightforward. It just involves getting the devices that we use, the MyDAC itself, and creating a session with a certain duration, so it would take measurements over time, and then actually adding that analog input for the measurements. And then we set it to plot the data that we got, which resulted in this curve on the left over here, which we chose to do a duration of 360 seconds because the first time we did the experiment we found that this was about how long it took to get the capacitor up to maximum voltage, which this ended up providing very similar results to our original Lab 2. For the chart shown here, we only went up to 180 seconds, I believe, so about half the time, but it still shows a very similar curve that resulted in about the same pattern. If we were to do this again, we probably would continue about the same way. This went fairly smoothly aside from the software issues.
And I think that's it for Challenge 9.